Ms. Patterson, San Joaquin Tributaries Association. Then after that, Mr. Egerton, Ms. Zezelak, and Ms. Skoog. Skoog or Skog, I apologize.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Thank you for having us. And big congratulations to the staff and the council for coming this far. Mr. Zlotnick paved the way for me to make my comments pretty quick here. As far as the executive summary, I had the same comment. ERP1 has been changed, that there is no longer a mandate to the State Water Board to set deadlines. It's now a recommendation. I would also like to reserve any comments on policies or regulations for when that comes up. And so really the only other thing that I would like to speak to, well, two things to be precise. The first one is in Chapter 3, page 120.
Chapter 3, page 120.
Yes, sir. It's with regard to the Delta Water Master. The Delta Plan recommends that his duties are eventually expanded beyond the Delta. This is exactly contrary to Delta Reform Act Section 85230, which says that his authority shall be limited to diversions in the Delta. So before recommending to expand his authority, whether it's changed in the legislation or elsewhere, we would recommend that the Delta Plan would recommend either now or in the future that he finishes his duties with his investigations of potential illegal diversions within the Delta. That would include pulling maps, deeds, whatever, to really conduct a thorough investigation beyond the reports that he is receiving now.
Why do you object to a recommendation of the council that the investigation of illegal water diversions be carried over to other areas in the Delta watershed? I don't understand why. If there are illegal diversions, whether they are in the Delta or within the Delta watershed, aren't they both of major concern?
Absolutely, and I would not disagree with that. The reason that we would object to the recommendation now is because we would like to see his efforts focused on the Delta, as the legislation mandated him to do, and to do that job thoroughly until that's expanded elsewhere.
Just to clarify, this is not a recommendation of the plan. This
Right,
is listed under issues for future evaluation.
Right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to misspeak or misimply. And then the final comment that we would have has to do with the former, I believe it was formerly subsection A and B to WRP1, which at the March meeting, the DSC directed the staff to include as part of the narrative in Chapter 3 leading up to the, I think it's now 5003. And it has to do with the intent of the policy, which is to comply with SBX 77. I didn't see that in there. I didn't know if that intent has changed or if that's just merely an omission of that language.
Mr. Ray, take a look at that. I don't see Ms. Davis. Does this ring a bell with you?
My recollection is that it's included in the description of the problem that precedes the policies in that section.
In this chapter, do you believe?
In this chapter.
In this chapter.
So the intent remains to comply with SBX?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Davis.